Best known for their sublime tiki-taka football, outrageously productive youth system, and for routinely making British clubs look like hungover pub teams in the Champions League, Barcelona are one of world football's foremost superpowers. Their track record speaks for itself, and while Barca are unquestionably among the most attractive clubs in Europe, the Catalan giants don't always get their way in the transfer market. I'm Andy from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 players who rejected Barcelona. Number 10. Ayoze Perez. It might sound unlikely in 2017, but Newcastle United's Ayoze Perez was once seen as one of Spanish football's most attractive young prospects. A 16-goal campaign for second-tier Tenerife saw both Barcelona and Real Madrid come sniffing in 2014. In a move that defied all logic and common sense, Perez decided that he'd rather play for Alan Pardew than Carlo Ancelotti or Luis Enrique, and joined the Magpies in a €2 million deal. The player claimed to have chosen Tyneside over Catalonia because of how highly the Magpies valued him. Number 9. Martin Odegaard. The past few years haven't been kind to Martin Odegaard. The Norwegian playmaker was tipped for great things from the get-go, and signed for Real Madrid after courting interest from a boatload of major European sides. He has since featured just twice for the senior side, and can currently be found farting around with Dutch side Heerenveen, scoring just 1 goal in 21 appearances. Oh dear. Barcelona were reportedly Martin's first choice, but Odegaard opted to walk away from negotiations when the club insisted they used a club-approved agent rather than his father, who still represents him today. Still only 18 years old, there's an outside chance Odegaard could eventually fulfill his monstrous potential, but on current form, it's safe to say Barcelona won't be disappointed about missing out. Number 8. Harry Kewell. It's easy to forget just how good Harry Kewell used to be. Barcelona came knocking sometime during Frank Rijkaard's spell as manager, between 2003 and 2008. Barca's interest wasn't made public knowledge until July 2009, when Kewell claimed that he turned Rijkaard down in order to stay at Liverpool. This sounds daft in 2017, but keep in mind that this took place long before Liverpool transformed into one of English football's preeminent comedy clubs. Number 7. David Luiz. With club icon Carles Puyol's career very much in its dying days, summer 2013 saw Barcelona lumbered with the unenviable task of securing a long-term replacement for their talismanic skipper. Naturally, they turned to the only man capable of filling such a follically impressive hole, David Luiz. Barcelona approached Chelsea with a reported £35 million offer for the erratic Sideshow Bob lookalike, but Luiz decided to stay put, claiming that he had no interest in talking to clubs while he was still under contract at Stamford Bridge. Number 6. Koke. Of all the players that have turned Barcelona down over the past few seasons, Koke probably stings the most. Why? Because had Barca signed the versatile midfielder in summer 2014, they probably wouldn't have had to fork out a ridiculous €40 million for former Tottenham donkey Paulinho this summer. Koke came within a hair of joining Barcelona, but ultimately turned the club down, citing his affinity for boyhood club Atletico Madrid as the deciding factor. Number 5. Rio Ferdinand. While the average English centre-back transforms from a brutish, hammer-throwing Luddite into a startled infant the moment a ball lands at their feet, Ferdinand was a calm, intelligent player whose expert distribution and reading of the game marked him as one of Europe's finest. The England international became Britain's most expensive player when he cost Man United £29.1 million back in July 2002 and attracted plenty of foreign interest throughout his career. In an August 2014 interview, Rio revealed that Barcelona once approached him during this period, but he was playing great football at Man United and he was winning boatloads of trophies, so his head was never turned. Number 4. Thiago Silva. Football is an inherently mercenary profession. Medals, first-team football, and passion for the game are still motivating factors, but some players just want to go through their careers like Scrooge McDuck, diving into an ocean of coinage after every single training session. The problem is that said players aren't always honest about their motivations, Neymar, which only breeds cynicism. Thiago Silva doesn't fall into this category. The Brazilian defender freely admitted that the reason he turned Barcelona down in summer 2013 was because PSG simply offered more money on a new deal, which is extremely refreshing given the current state of play. Number 3. Alessandro Del Piero. Alessandro Del Piero and Juventus go together like Paolo Maldini and AC Milan, Ryan Giggs and Manchester United, Shola Amiobi and Newcastle. The Italian forward played for Sydney FC and the mighty Delhi Dynamos later in his career, but the thought of him turning out for anyone other than Juventus during his peak years was unthinkable. Nonetheless, it almost happened during an undisclosed point during his prime, as revealed by his agent, Claudio Pasqualin, in March 2002. Pascalin stated that Man United and Barcelona had both tried to sign Del Piero earlier in the decade, but both were knocked back. He did it for the love, his agent claimed, adding that Alessandro's future had to be Juventus. Number 2. Gianluigi Buffon. Barcelona haven't had the best of luck with goalkeepers over the past few decades, and while Barca's custodians have rarely been terrible, there's no doubt they'd have benefited immensely from having a truly world-class stopper between the sticks during this time. Signing Gianluigi Buffon in 2001 could have feasibly kept their goalkeeping position locked up all the way through to the present day, but the then Parma player opted to stay in Italy. Presented with a straight choice between Barca and Juventus, Buffon opted for the Bianconeri, and has since played well over 600 games for the old lady of Italian football, winning 13 major trophies in the process. And number 1. Cristiano Ronaldo. It's safe to say that Real Madrid's ownership aren't exactly top of Sir Alex Ferguson's Christmas card list, having been forced to sell Gabriel Heinze, Ruud van Nistelrooy and David Beckham to Los Blancos in recent years. December 2008 saw Fergie famously respond to rumours that he was on the verge of flogging Cristiano Ronaldo to the Madrid Giants by saying that he wouldn't even sell them a virus. And that summer, they did everything in their power to keep him from Real. The Red Devils even went as far as offering the Portuguese international to Barcelona, so strong was their disdain for Madrid, but they had no choice in the end. Ronaldo refused to move to any club other than Madrid, and Ferguson was once again forced to watch one of his top players depart for the Spanish capital. Know of any other top talent that turned Barcelona down? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe.